Ready for medical career growth? Yes, you are in the right place. Hello, this is Dr. Neema Bish, BDS by degree and a pharma professional. As a founder of Career in Pharma, our mission is to guide medical professionals towards remarkable success in the pharma industry. With a track record of over 700 plus students trained and placed into various premier pharma companies, we are here to elevate your journey. Hello everyone, once again I welcome you all to Career in Pharma. Now in today's video, which is in continuation with the important interview question answer series for pharmacovigilance, today in this video we are going to talk about history of pharmacovigilance. So now in our previous videos on this pharmacovigilance interview question answer series, we learned basically what is pharmacovigilance, why we are doing it, what is the objective and how we are doing it. Also we learned what is adverse drug reaction, what is adverse event, what is the difference, what is side effects. Yes, now in today's video we are going to talk about history of pharmacovigilance, which is again another important interview question. Now regarding history, definitely we can't mug up each and everything. It is very tough to remember all the events which happened in past, but you should be able to remember the milestones. What were the milestone events because of which this pharmacovigilance started? So that those milestone event you should be remembering, and you should be knowing what exactly happened, why that event happened, what was the factor, and what action was taken. Yes. So in this I am going to start with international pharmacovigilance as well as how the pharmacovigilance in India developed and how is the scenario about pharmacovigilance in India. So before I proceed, let me tell you, pharmacovigilance to India, pharmacovigilance is still a new thing, because after 2010 only, and even after 2014, it became very popular, and now more and more people, healthcare professionals and other people related to this domain, they are aware about this pharmacovigilance. Otherwise before 2010 in India, it was entirely a new field where not many were aware. But yeah, now in today date, yes, many of them are aware, but still more awareness has to go, yeah, for India. But internationally, pharmacovigilance developed way long back, and in outside countries apart from India, even there, patients are very much aware. That's why this pharmacovigilance came into picture. Now we'll learn from this video the international PV history. I am going to give you the milestone. I'm not going to take each and everything. Milestone which is important for interview purpose as well, and even for Indian pharmacovigilance history also, the milestone things I'm going to give you. Yes. So this video can be very useful if you are going to give interview for the profile such as pharmacovigilance officer, drug safety associate trainee, or pharmacovigilance executive. At a fresher level, this video going to help you a lot. Also, if you are experienced and you have to go to for some interview in your job experience, then also it might be helpful, because you never know what questions they may ask you, right? So let's begin. So I will start with the pharmacovigilance which started internationally. So I'm only going to take the milestone events. Okay, so the milestone, the landmark which happened in past, and because of which this pharmacovigilance started. So one key event which happened in 1937, okay, in US. So in the US, one key event happened in 1937, that is sulfanilamide elixir disaster. So this is famous by the name of sulfanilamide elixir disaster. It happened in 1937 in US. there 107 deaths occurred in the US in 1937 because of use of sulfonamide elixir, which contains diethyl glycol as the solvent, and this incident is called sulfonamide disaster in the history of pharmacovigilance. Yes, now investigation happened at that time in 1937, and after investigation it was concluded that in sulfonamide elixir there was a solvent called diethyl glycol, and which was identified as a cause of death. But at that time manufacturing companies was not aware of the toxicity of diethyl glycol, and that's how this sulfonamide disaster, because of the sulfonamide disaster, because of 107 deaths which occurred in 1937 in the US, the Federal Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act was established. Okay, so milestone 937, sulfonamide elixir disaster, 107 deaths occurred in US, and what happened after this? Federal Food, Drug and Cosmetic Act was established in the US in 1938. Yes, and the public health system was renovated. And as per this act, the safety of drugs should be demonstrated before their market approval. So the safety should be demonstrated before any pharma company want to market and want to get the market approval. Yes, so because of this act, there was introduction of many factory inspections, many other regulations. Yes, so this is one of the milestone in pharmacovigilance history, that is sulfonamide disaster. Okay, please remember. Yes, now after that a very famous milestone event happened, that is thalidomide disaster. This is even more famous than sulfonamide elixir disaster. Now what happened in 1961? Okay, so sulfonamide disaster happened in the US. Now in 1961 something happened in European areas. So in 1961 a big change of European pharmacovigilance happened following the tragedy of thalidomide, and this is known as thalidomide disaster in history of pharmacovigilance. This is one of the most important interview question, that is thalidomide disaster, when it happened, where it happened. Yes, so what is thalidomide disaster? So it was observed that congenital malformations in babies increased up to 20% in women who had taken thalidomide during pregnancy, and at the same time a pediatric convention in Germany, in there Dr. Lenz suggested a correlation between malformation and thalidomide, and his suspect was published in German journal as well. Then in 1973 a retrospective study was done, and it showed the correlation between the congenital malformation of babies and the use of thalidomide during pregnancy. So usually thalidomide at that time they were using to suppress the morning sickness which happened in pregnant females. So to suppress that they were using thalidomide without knowing that it has effect on it may cause congenital malformation in new babies. Yeah. So the tragedy of thalidomide brought to light many problems and critical issues, and after this thalidomide disaster, which happened in around 1965 and 1967. Okay, so roughly it was in 1961 that thalidomide disaster. Okay, so after that there was a complete change in regulations. And because of the tragedy of thalidomide brought to light many problems and critical issues, and the reliability of animal tests, the behavior of industrial company, and the importance of monitoring the drugs after their marketing came into light. So this tragedy, thalidomide disaster tragedy, changes the system of pharmacovigilance, because the spontaneous reporting of adverse drug reactions became systematic, organized and regulated after thalidomide disaster. And in 1964 the yellow card was structured in UK. So yellow card is nothing, it's a kind of form, a yellow card, where the patient can report their adverse event. Yes, so that is a reporting card for adverse event. Yes, so that is another important milestone in international history of pharmacovigilance, that is thalidomide disaster. So one was sulfanilamide disaster, then thalidomide disaster happened in Europe, UK, European things, and then in 1968, WHO program for international drug monitoring was instituted. Another important milestone. So in 1968, the WHO program for international drug monitoring was instituted, and at that time 10 members participated in this program. These 10 members were Australia, UK, USA, Germany, Canada, Ireland, Sweden, Denmark, New Zealand and Netherlands. India was not the member at that time in 1968. Yes. Now, another important milestone is in this international pharmacovigilance is in 1995. European Medicine Agency was set up, that is EMA, that is the regulatory authority body of European Union, not Union exactly. So European Medicine Agency was set up. And in 2001, EUDRA Vigilance was funded. So EUDRA Vigilance is an official European database for managing and analyzing information on suspected adverse reactions to medicines, which has been authorized for the market or being studied in European clinical trials. Okay, so this is about international pharmacovigilance, where you should be knowing sulfanilamide disaster, thalidomide disaster, and then WHO drug monitoring when it was instituted, and then when EMA came into picture, European Medicine Agency came into picture, and then when EUDRA Vigilance came. Yes, and you should also be knowing that what action or what act or regulation started after these disasters. Like after sulfanilamide disaster, there was an act, then after thalidomide disaster, then yellow card came into picture. Okay. Apart from this, in international pharmacovigilance system history, you should also be knowing what all cards or adverse event reporting system every country is using. Okay, so that also you should be knowing, and latest news you should be knowing. Okay, so that you can Google as well. Yeah, so it was about international pharmacovigilance history. Now a little bit I want to put a light on pharmacovigilance in India. What is the present scenario and the future challenges, and how pharmacovigilance came into picture in India. Okay, so now in India, pharmacovigilance was initiated way back in 1986. That was just a formal thing. No implementation were done. So it was initiated way back in 1986 with a formal adverse drug reaction monitoring system under supervision of Drug Controller of India, that is DCGI nowadays, Drug Controller Journal of India. So in 1998, so WHO started their adverse drug monitoring thing in 1968, but that time India did not join WHO, but India joined WHO in 1998. This is after long back WHO started, India joined WHO in 1998. But at that time, India was not successful. Later on, in 2005, the National Program of Pharmacovigilance was launched in India in 2005. So you can see it's a very new thing in India still. Okay, it's 2024. In 2005, the roots, in India, the government started showing the seeds. So, but still, it's very new to India, pharmacovigilance. So, National Program of Pharmacovigilance was launched in 2005 and was renamed as PVPI, that is Pharmacovigilance Program of India in 2010. So, another important interview question, what is PVPI? What is the Pharmacovigilance Program in India when it was launched? Okay, so it was launched in 2005 but renamed as PVPI in 2010. Yes, now Central Drug Standard Control Organization, that is CDSCO, the Drug Regulatory Authority Body of India, established the program in July 2010 with All India Institute of Medical Sciences, AIIMS, New Delhi, as the NCC, that is the National Coordination Center, and which later shifted to, so in 2010 when they started with PVPI, at that time AIIMS New Delhi was the NCC, that is the National Coordination Center, but later on this is shifted to Ghaziabad, that is Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission IPC in Ghaziabad. In 2011 it was shifted. Yes, so this pharmacovigilance program of India works to safeguard the health of the Indian population by ensuring that the benefit of medicines outweighs the risk associated with their use. Yes. Now in 2010 this PVPI came, in 2011 it shifted to Ghaziabad, that is Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission of India, and the culture of reporting of ADRs has achieved remarkable success with 250 PVPI, 250 Pharmacovigilance Program of India. This 250 centers, drug monitoring centers they establish. Yes, and PVPI, this Pharmacovigilance Program of India, is an Indian government organization. Okay, so this is a government program which identifies and responds to drug safety problems. Yeah. Now this Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission and this Pharmacovigilance Program of India has now become a WHO collaborating centers. Means whatever adverse event the hospitals reporting to these national coordination centers NCC, they sending it to WHO, and from that WHO data mining is happening and they are sending signals or whatever new information back to these national coordination centers, and in result this national coordination center sending this information back to hospitals, their ADR monitoring centers and CDSC. Yeah. So this is the way communication happens in this pharmacovigilance program in India, where hospitals, healthcare professionals, patients, they report their adverse event to ADR monitoring centers. From ADR monitoring centers, it goes to National Coordination Center, that is IPC Ghaziabad, and then this IPC Ghaziabad going to send this information to Uppsala Monitoring Center, because WHO collaboration has already happened. So they are sending it to Uppsala Monitoring Center, Sweden, and now after data mining and analyzing everything, Uppsala Monitoring Center is sending this information back. Whatever new signal they generated, whatever new alert they have come up with, they will send it back to the National Coordination Center Ghaziabad, and this National Coordination Center Ghaziabad will transfer this information to ADR Monitoring Center, and then ADR Monitoring Center will keep an alert or send this information to various hospitals, healthcare professionals, patient leaflet, and many newsletters they will publish. Yeah, so this is how the communications goes in this program, where ultimately everyone is working towards patient safety. Aim is patient safety, so that new alerts can be generated and patients should be more and more aware while taking or eating any medicine. Yes, so this was about how internationally pharmacovigilance has started, how in India it started. Just I want to summarize in terms of telling you the important interview question also. So sulfanilamide elixir disaster, and then thalidomide disaster, WHO program when it came, when India joined WHO, what is PVPI, what is IPC Ghaziabad, okay, Drug Regulatory Authority body name of India, who is current Drug Controller General of India. So these are like few important interview questions with regards to history of pharmacovigilance nationally and internationally. So I hope you got few insights on what things you should prepare. So no need to mug up all the things in history, which is very hard to do. Yeah. So just be aware of the milestone events and what happened after those milestone events. Okay. So by this way, it will be easy for you to prepare for interview. Yes. So I hope you like this content. I hope I made this history easy for you. Hoping so. And please comment below in the comment section your learning from this entire video. And also please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to share our channel to your friends, your colleagues who look forward for these kind of videos where they are preparing for some job. Yes. So we'll be coming soon with some next interview topic for pharmacovigilance in the series of pharmacovigilance question answer series. And till the time I come again, till that time, please stay safe, alert, updated, and active, and keep exploring new things. Have a nice day. Bye bye.